IAPxctn.com. Events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Starladder Season 10 continues right now. It's time for Team IAPxctn. IAP still looking for their first win against Team Virtus Pro. Of course, I'm LD, joined here by Cinderin. Sind, do you think IAP has a shot? You think they can do it?
Yeah.
Are you a believer?
I thought they had a good shot in the last game, and I thought they had an even better shot after seeing their early game. But then they, let's be honest, they screwed up, right?
To be fair, VP did the same thing against Secret, and I'm curious to see who's going to end up screwing up this game. That's a very negative way to look at it. Both of these teams tend to have very good early games, and then where they struggle is the mid game and the late game a bit more. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And the funny thing is, before we saw the first game of IAP, you said that their weakness might be the early game, right? And then you said they like to play mid-late game in terms of laning. Okay. Yeah, overall they, at least based on the sample we have from this tournament so far, I guess it's fair to say that the weakness of both teams is probably the mid game. So I'm curious to see who gets off to the better early game here. It's going to be Virtus Pro grabbing the Ogre Magi as well as Razor, whereas IAP have grabbed the Death Prophet and Skywrath Mage. So in terms of early game supports, each team, I guess it's fair to say, has, well, they have a support each. I would say Skywrath, as far as the laning stage goes, easily superior to Ogre, who brings other things to the table in the mid game, though.
Yeah, unless you get like that clutch haste through it and just run around clubbing someone to death.
Orb of Venom.
Yeah, I like that Ogre Oov actually, as far as supports go. But with that said, draft's underway. We can officially look at it now on the stream. It will be a first overall pick Death Prophet. The last time that IAP played in Game 1, they banned out Razor and Death Prophet, not wanting to give Havost his Razor or Denny his Death Prophet. This time, though, both heroes left in the pool. They've done a bit of research. They'll ban out the Terrorblade, something that BZZ has played on occasion, though I would not call it a go-to hero by any means. The Wisp also removed. Again, something VP can play. I don't think they're particularly known for their Wisp.
No, don't think so either.
Now they ban out the Dusad TA, so maybe IAP just banning heroes they don't like playing against more than anything else.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Dusad TA bans here, especially when Razor's already picked. It's kind of, I guess if you're Virtus Pro, you could have picked either, I suppose, and put the Razor mid, but I don't know if Virtus Pro likes running that duo, because the thing is, if you run both Razor and Medusa, I guess they have fairly decent synergy with the ultimate and the attacks when you have the Stone Gaze, but obviously Plasma Field, not the best of synergy. It's two heroes who can't really avoid ganks. Dusa can maybe tank up and avoid it with Mana Shield in that sense, but both of them not really the most active early game heroes, so maybe not the best of duos to put together. But
it's just kind of like a passive greedy opening.
And it's not a Virtus Pro opening either. I wouldn't think they would go for that. But who knows? They might have chosen it. At least they're going to get a defensive support in Dazzle, assuming this is a support based on the previous game in which I believe it was Jodam playing it, or was it Y'all?
The Dazzle
was Y'all, I guess.
For VP?
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember.
Honestly,
it was one
my
of them.
brain's a sieve. I couldn't even tell you. It's pretty sad.
No problem. But it's going to be the Centaur, at least, for IAP, which we talked about in the previous game, in the pre-match, and I think also during the draft, that it's a hero IAP likes to play, the Centaur, and this time they're going to get a fairly decent Centaur lineup so far.
Fourth pick now coming out for VP. They have the Dazzle Ogre. It's like an interesting mix of offense and defense here. A tanky support, Grave and heal, but they don't really have anything that synergizes especially well with that heal, like no heal bomb potential, nobody that creates illusion armies. Still, just a good defensive support, and nice to have against the Scarith if you can stay out of range of that silence. IAP with more of the pick-off lineup with the Centaur Scarith. I honestly kind of like IAP's draft a bit better so far. I feel like there's just more natural synergy here. Great pick-off potential, good late game. But VP will get the Sidoi Puck, who made a few mistakes in that game, but overall was very impressive in their opening match versus Team Secret. Especially in the early laning stage. He got a lot out of the offlane.
Yeah, he did very well in that game overall. Pretty much, he had a couple of mistakes, but enough big plays to make up for it, I guess you could say. But yeah, for now, like, I would agree with you. I think Execration's lineup makes a little bit more sense the way it's combined here. I'm not really seeing the synergy with Dazzle, for example, for Virtus Pro that much. It was really good in the previous game because they had the Death Prophet. So like the tanking up both the Razor and the Death Prophet with Weave, and then especially if you hit a couple of enemy targets with it too, so they get minus armor, more damage on Exorcism, more damage on Razor's ultimate. Now it's only Razor, and the synergy, especially what they're using Weave against, I guess they have some protection against Death Prophet, but against Centaur and Skywrath, it's kind of useless to have Weave, to be honest. It's not really... Those two are just all about the spell burst. But you have Grave then, though.
Yeah, if you don't get silence.
Yeah, I suppose it's okay, but I feel like there's a little bit of a piece missing for Virtus Pro, and I wonder if the fifth pick can solve that, whereas for Execration, it just seems more complete in a way.
Yeah, and everything just works very nicely together. With only 3 picks in, now they go for a 4th pick Weaver. There is the Puck Silence, can be a good source of lockdown if you get it off quickly enough, and they've got the Ogre. But I wouldn't say VP are great at dealing with the Weaver, and it seems like the stream is still offline. Oh, okay, here we go. I guess we're still having the built-in 2 minutes delay, or maybe not. Either way, for those in Dota TV, I know some of you were complaining on the stream chat, but I believe they are aware and are working on getting it back up. There's the Russian stream on Starladder.
Now it's up
in the
again.
meantime.
Welcome back on the stream. That's good. Okay, so...
All right. Oh, no delay anymore.
Yeah.
Or like wait, is there? Like slight delay, maybe.
No, pretty much none. I guess this might just be because it loaded. I think if there's delay, it's very little. It's not 2 minutes like it was before.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully resolved here. Very nice.
VP will ban Tree.
Yeah. Interesting to see VP ban that out. I guess they're just worried about Tree on... Well, to be fair, it would actually be extremely good against VP's lineup here. They don't really have too much damage over time to remove the living armor, and it's so good on both Death Prophet and Weaver. So it could have been
more
nice
just
pick.
that I wouldn't say IAP run it very often. I can't recall them having picked the hero much, so it could be very strong if they wanted to go for it. That is certainly the case, and IAP now will remove the Tidehunter. Just, if you need a missing piece, it probably is that additional lockdown. I just don't think they have enough to do with the Weaver right now, Sin. Not if he gets off to a fast start.
No, and what VP are missing is their safe lane carry probably, unless they want to put the Razor there. So you need...
They'll go spec. Okay. Here we go.
I do not know if that was a good pick in this particular game.
Look at the mid-game aggression from IAP.
Yeah.
The VP are... Well, obviously if this goes late game, we have to favor them now. But can they get to late game intact?
I'm not even sure, honestly. I know Spectre is an incredible late gamer, but you've got a hero like Death Prophet. One thing Spectre is not good at is dealing single target heavy damage, right? Unless you get the Manta and you get the ideal situation where you get to attack for an extended period of time. But if that doesn't happen, VP do not have single target damage at all, apart from maybe a lucky multicast from the Ogre, right? They have like spread damage, Razor's ultimate is not reliable, Plasma Field is spread, Spectre is spread, and they need to kill a Weaver and a Death Prophet with that, and a Centaur. Like there's 3 tanky, Weaver arguably not tanky, but might build that way, or just be slippery in general. I don't feel like Spectre solves the issue, and the most scary thing for VP maybe is they don't even... It's possible that Execration won't even try to run an aggressive trial lane or anything to counter the Spectre, because they're like, well, if you're going to farm your Spectre and we free farm our Weaver and Death Prophet mid, we're okay with it. Because Weaver will be a beast this game.
The other thing is that the offlane Puck may have a very difficult time. Up against the Skywrath Mage and a Weaver,
yeah,
it's tough to run away. They can drop the Swarm on you.
Strong lane.
They're going to keep eyes on you. They can silence you. If they get another stun, silence into stun into Weaver chase, Puck may just be feeding. They'll go Witch Doctor. Ooh. Gives them a little bit of heal. Lets them push harder early on if they want to.
And the Cask is kind of nice against Haunt, because there's usually a couple of illusions that can bounce off and jump across. And also Virtus Pro kind of have an in-your-face lineup. They want to run in with Razor, they want to run in with Spectre, maybe even jump in over the top with Puck, and then you can get some pretty good cast bounces on that.
Yeah, they don't have amazing setup for the Death Ward. It's decent with the Centaur Stomp.
That's true.
They don't have like a Dusa to buff up the damage, but it still feels... It's just... I think Witch Doctor is underrated just as like can fit into most lineups kind of support. You know, even if you don't have a perfect Death Ward lineup, like even without Chronosphere, just the heal's very strong early. Casca's decent lockdown, and even without setup, sometimes you get a good Death Ward. You never know. And that is one thing VP are a bit lacking in. They have, what is it? Poison Touch, Ogre Stun, and the Silence Coil from Puck, but you're probably not looking to use that too much on the Witch Doctor. And with that said, we'll take one more look at our players, guys. We're officially underway with IAPxctn, or Interactive Philippines' second of 3 games at Group B. Both teams need a win here. VP dropped earlier to Secret. IAP dropped to Navi. Those teams currently 1-0. With an 0-2 record, you are very unlikely to move into the winner's bracket.
Yeah, then there needs to be like a 3-way tie for second with 1-2s and one team with 3-0, which I guess the 3-0 is not out of the question, but I think 3-1-2s seems a bit unlikely with how the games we've seen so far from this group. But it is, of course, still a possibility. But I'm sure both teams are playing to win this to increase their chances anyway.
I certainly hope so. With that, let's run through our drafts. We've got Fox handle your Weaver. That will put Jay or Bimbo onto the Death Prophet. Chemo, the Witch Doctor. Emma Stone or RR.
Oh,
and here we go. Concussive shots to start. They get the Shikuchi damage to follow, but it is an Ogre. He's very tanky. He throws the stun onto Fox. They get the cast done. They keep on chasing. Do they really want to go for this? I don't think they can. If that's any other hero besides
armor.
Ogre, you die.
That's 6 base armor and 600 health. They couldn't get through it there.
I'm fine.
And the funny thing is, they actually pinged them out. Jotun was pinging exactly where they were. And it was like,
I'm role-playing Ogre, man. I go
that way. No, that way. And then
we'll be okay. Oh my god, they're there. Walk away.
Worked out. I mean, he forced a bit of spell usage. They got a bit more intel of exactly where IAP was for an extended period of time. And maybe because of that, they can put the ideal lanes as well. Because they saw the aggressive movement. They might be assuming it's an aggressive tri lane coming out for IAP, which at the moment it looks like it might actually be, just to counter out the Spectre. Yeah, looks like it. At least a dual lane for now.
All right, and then quickly running through VP here, who narrowly dodged a first blood. That puts Sadoy onto your Puck, going mid. Will be Yol on that support. Ogre now trying to backstab with G joining him. Bimbo going to take a lot of pressure, probably going down to the club. They keep the vision with Static Link. First blood goes to VP. That early Ogre roam. We saw it do work for VP against Secret. It's happening again now, and just to conclude the introductions, we have Jotum once again on the support. Dazzle, and that puts BZZ onto the Spectre. Well, rough start there for the Death Prophet mid. And now it'll be a struggle of a lane. G out to 6-1. Jay also not CSing particularly well here.
Yeah, the one thing Death Prophet always has going for her against Razor is that she's not dependent on physical attacks to get all her farms. She can farm with Crypt Swarm. It would be much worse for Jay if he was playing, let's say, a Templar Assassin or something, where against Razor you just don't stand a chance, especially not if you get killed once. But he should still be pretty okay. Overall, the experience gain for God here is not that significant because it was a 2-man gank, I believe.
They're going to try for it again. Ogre's just face tanking the tower, clubbing Jay. And now, with the Plasma Field, they force him way back. Can't quite get the kill. But they're winning this mid lane, for sure. We look at the bottom lane, and Iwi's struggling a bit. Well, actually, no, he's doing pretty well, but he's not keeping the Puck out, I guess is my point. Puck getting good levels. Sadoy also farming reasonably well in his own right. And is that, well, the Weaver in the off lane only 4 and 3. Their Spectre is basically even in CS. So far, the tri lane hasn't really done its job. It is early, but VP off to a start here. Good start.
Off to a start.
Off to a start of some kind here.
Yeah, well, I still think once this Weaver starts getting higher levels up, so it perhaps gets 2 or 3 levels in Geminate attack and Shikuchi, it's going to be very difficult for BZZ to farm this lane. But the thing he has going for him is he has 4 tangos and a salve as well as the Stout Shield, so they're going to have to burn through quite a lot of regen here before they can reliably really punish him in the lane. Although Jotum might be the one on the receiving end instead here. He's going to have to Grave in a moment.
No teleport, though. Like, even if he Graves, they can still dive him. And if BZZ comes in, he could be a secondary kill if they're not careful. Last auto attack, searching through the tree line. They'll bring down Jotum, and now they might even turn onto BZZ. Tower not cooperating. It's fighting creeps while BZZ is begging for backup. Where's those reinforcements, Tower? Give me some love here. Emma Stone, RR's going to go deep. BZZ turns, he throws the dagger, but that also gives them an idea of where he is, running through for the Sakuchi. Now Jotum arrives, he's respawned, he's teleported back in, and Fox is overextended. He'll end up going down. RR has to get this kill to make it count, but it looks like he may end up falling without finding it. Still working his way through the tree line. He follows the path of broken trees, and right into the Spectre will secure that kill. While that's happening, Chemo meets the club. And it looks like Chemo will be forced off. Rotating as the Weaver again. They do lose the Skyrath as expected.
What's going on?
With the Chemo heal, we're just not done yet. They dive back on the Yul. The Ogre overextending in his own right. Another heal from Jadam. Sakuchi not going to commit to that. Did not have the double proc auto attack, which he probably needed to get the kill. And when the dust settles, it's a 2-3 game.
I have no. That was
a
just
dead
so
even gold change there.
that
2
was
for 2.
The weirdest fight we've seen all tournament, I think, with these dives. And then at the end, Fox gives up on that kill on the Ogre, which he actually had. But I think he was worried that Jadam had Grave ready. But that was on a short cooldown. But of course, he couldn't have kept track on that.
It's a level 2 Grave, so still 45-second cooldown.
Yeah, and I think it was even level 1 until that point. When he cast it the first time, it was level 1, so it was a full minute cooldown. But yeah, that
like
was,
you said,
that
hard
was
to keep
crazy.
track of. Oh my.
G taking some harassment mid. I'm going to see RR going really aggressive here and forcing him away, securing the rune for Jay in the bottom part of the river. And he's actually overtaken the Razor now. Even though God got help twice from Ogre, he's losing the lane afterwards.
He got first blood, he got help twice, and he was out CSing him early. And still Jay stays in this lane and, in fact, comes back. That is very impressive.
Yeah, he's doing very well. And of course, as mentioned earlier, Death Prophet is one of the heroes who can deal with it. So it's he's still done better than I thought he would. I was expecting Razor to still have a lead at this point, but Jay's looking good. And he's
Sadoy so royally screwed if they get off the stomp, which they do right as the silence ends, then smacked down by the club. Iwi finds a nice kill. Actually, that goes the way of the Skyrath Mage. But off of the good start in terms of CS, now has his Tranquil Boots up. And the big thing to me is we're going to see a Centaur with a fast blink, most likely this game, Sind. This is a hero that can be very explosive. We haven't seen him get too much farm priority recently in the tournament, but this could be a game changer, having this powerful start on Iwi.
Definitely. It's one of, and in addition to that, they also have Stampede in a 5-minute game, which is really, really useful. When you look at VP's lineup, they're kind of dependent on mid lane.
Well, actually, he's got too much damage stolen.
It's going to be fine.
They want to chase, but that's not going to happen.
VP are kind of dependent on extended fights, right? They don't really have that significant burst. So
outside of the Ogre, if he gets
outside
lucky,
of the Ogre,
yeah.
but at least at this point, that Ogre's level 3, so that's not really a threat. So Stampede can buy more than enough time for IAP to reset and initiate on their terms, or just flat out to initiate with. So I think so far the early game definitely favors them overall. The golden XP is negligible, but it's just more about the way this game is going, right? Spectre now has 11 CS in 6 minutes, whereas Weaver has 24. So this top lane that used to be even, it's fair to say IAP has won that now.
Yeah, and it's not like the pressure should, relieve at any point soon, unless they can rotate the puck in. The Fox will just keep on Sakuchi in, going for the double proc auto attack from Geminade, and just keep on pushing in the tower. Has his Ring of Basilius working towards the treads, and soon they have Stampede, at which point maybe they actually rotate the Centaur top and go for a pickoff. His blink is cool, coming in soon, up to 1,200 gold. This looks to be like a 10-minute blink if all goes well. And that will probably be go time.
Oh, they might try on BZZ
shot on the
here.
BZZ. I think they wanted that to hit the Dazzle instead. Well, they'll commit to it. Now throwing in the Swarm. This forces out a TP. It's the puck coming. Sadoy, coil on 2. Could be a big one. There's no Centaur rotation. He already used Stampede earlier. Not enough to get the first kill on BZZ. And now Fox has to retreat. Sadoy still chasing him out. Has the level 1 silence. But that's not really enough lockdown for this. And in the meantime, it's actually 5 top. They're all coming in for Emma Stone. Dagger doesn't have the vision, it looks like.
And that was really confident from IAP. They saw the TP animation of the puck, and they just stuck around and tried to fight. But at the end of the day, they only lose 1 support, and they dragged 5 VP heroes up there, so I would consider that an even trade. Iwi is getting the free lane bottom as a result of it. Puck had to TP, and yeah, he's almost got the blink. It's going to be an 8 to 9 minute blink dagger on the Centaur, and that's when it can get really scary for the Spectre, who still hasn't skilled Dispersion. He's almost going to die to the Centaur's burst alone.
I'm actually really surprised we don't even see a single point. He's up against a lot of aggressive heroes. Sometimes we see just the Desolate max and, a single point in dagger, or max dagger, take some points in Dispersion, like a value point in Desolate, but maxing it is pretty uncommon. Unless you know that you can be aggressive, but how often is that the case with Spectre?
I think the most common build of all on Spectre is to get 2 points in Dagger, and then you max Desolate over Dispersion.
Yeah.
But it's been changed a little bit in this version with the different movement speed on Dagger, so it's actually a lot better on level 1 and level 2 in particular. But yeah,
it's a very aggressive build from BZZ.
It's very different. And I'm especially, like you said, with this kind of lane where he has a defensive support and Dazzle, it's very weird he goes for an aggressive build himself. It's like, doesn't make too much sense, I think.
Yeah, I do really like the item pickup, though. Going for an Urn, that's exactly what you need out of your Spectre. You have decent pickoff in your own right. You know IAP are going to be diving early. You cannot afford to go for anything like more aggressive. This just helps you tank up, but still, if you take the fights, you get the Urn charges, can go your way. They might ramp around bottom. Looking for that initial silence on Sadoy. He gets it off in his own right. Jay not actually having a point in his yet. Will it matter? Stomp, double edge, secures that kill. Now Jay fighting against G with the full might of his ultimate. Who's going to win it? It looks like Jay should. The Ghosts do the work. And meanwhile, top lane, nice turn there. A clean 2-hero takedown for IAP. Thought we'd have more action from them up here as well, but not the case.
I don't know if I would call that clean. That looked like a little bit of a dirty fight, to be honest, the way they ran into that and kind of got cancelled twice. The Death Prophet didn't have silence, so when they tried to open on the Puck, they didn't have an opener. So Puck got the coil and the phase shift off first before the Razor poured it in and everything. But at the end of the day, Jade barely making it out alive there and getting the 2-for-1 trade. So
they do have Blink on Centaur now.
Favoring IAP, but the Exorcism was used, and that's a big deal. It's a long cooldown, getting longer every version, just like Vacuum. So he has to wait before he can push a tower now.
They're all just chasing this Ogre down. The Bug and the Flying Man.
Oh, this weave is going to get scary if they continue.
They also have their Centaur waiting in reserve. I think they'd love to double back for BZZ more than anything. But he doesn't actually run out into the woods. So the opening won't be there. Yul continuing to trot now towards mid. G will join him. But at the same time, Bimbo's going to back off. Is rushing that Yul Scepter. Very nice against the Puck silence in particular. And they're going to group as 3 and look to push this one down while Iwi tries to zone everybody else on VP out. And they just don't feel very confident about getting in close here. If they want to fight this, they might need 5 heroes top.
Yeah, they're going to concede this tower, and at the same time, Jay is already pushing out mid again. Exorcism is still on cooldown for another 50, so probably can't go for the tower right now, but he might just be pushing out the wave and setting up for his team to join him soon. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Sadoy is still getting farm. But you see, when you're looking at the net worth, it's just telling the story of how VP are struggling to get significant farm on any of their heroes that can really match up to IAPs. And if they start losing the towers as well, I fear for VP that the Spectre just never gets online. This pick, what I was worried about is what's happening for them right now. He's not getting enough out of the map.
The Courier now purchasing something. It looks like the Yule Scepter's en route. And that's a pretty fast completed Yule Scepter for the Death Prophet. They also have Stampede, Blink ready to go. They're looking for G-Mid, and they jump onto that Razor. Silence is there. The follow-up comes through. Boom. He's down. Now Sadoy trying to turn, throws out the coil. Iwi going to TP home, breaking that coil, but not enough to finish him off. Jay is fine. And this is a double TP for nothing gained. They still lose their Razor. They're getting pressure top. Still the Spectre struggles to farm, so only 3K net worth, which honestly is pretty good, I think, considering the pressure she's been under. Good for this game, but not enough. Fox is up to 1,700 in the meantime. They look for the first stun, but they don't have the range and vision for it. He's able to Sakuchi out in time. Execration looking good this game, and looking good with a lineup that goes late, that has heroes that build tanky, which allows you to deal pretty well Spectre, has the heal from the Witch Doctor to help mitigate the spread damage. This is not going to be an easy comeback for VP.
No, and even should it go super late, I'm still not sure I even favor VP, which is kind of rare for me because I usually favor the team with Spectre. That's usually how it goes, right? But I just feel like IAP's lineup is actually really good at dealing with the Spectre. So it's slightly worrying if you're a VP fan in this game. I think the way for them to get something done here is try to slow down the game a little bit, get one good item on the Spectre. Maybe you don't build for Radiance in this. Maybe you build for some sort of fighting build so you can get useful around the same time Razor does. So you hit like a sweet spot for your entire team, and then you open fights with Puck, you haunt in, you have Razor with the ultimate over the top, and then build a fight around that. But they need to not lose the map before that point kicks in. Jotun being dived
this
really
is a
far
solo
here.
kill for Jay. Nice Yules. Easy pickoff. IAP pushing forward for the tier 1 bottom lane. There will be a glyph, but this tower is also going down. Haunt is ready. Coil is ready. There's a dagger soon on the Puck, but they just can't fight into this Death Bolt. Not while Exorcism is going, Sind. There's just no way.
And now IAP needs to be careful not to overextend here. Their Exorcism is ending now. Puck could technically jump into this. There's no follow-up available just yet. Yeah, I think they're going to back out. This is
if they push like another creep wave, then I think they get jumped by VP. but they do back at the right time.
Scarith Mage got a lot of gold too. He's sitting on 1600 now. I'm wondering what the approach is for him here. We could see the double null into mech build since no one else in his team is building the mech. But he is moving to the secret shop, so maybe it's just arcane boots here for the team, which, nope, he's holding on to his gold.
He's gonna
just
smoke.
smoking.
I'll spend my gold later after I get more kills.
Don't have time to use the gold right now.
Yeah.
This is a good smoke too, because it's pretty expectable that BCC will feel safe for a little bit. He's very close to his tier 2 tower. He wants to get the farm up here. There's already a hero showing bottom in the Weaver. When the 2 other execration heroes show in the mid lane, I think BCC will try to go for a CS or 2, and he's just going to get burst down immediately if he tries. If he tries for the CS, he's dead.
Oh, they're so close.
So
Blake,
dead.
stop. Double Edge Mystic Flare. Combination gaming from IAP again works its magic. This Spectre is struggling hard. And after a long journey, IAP, they lost their first match, but they're looking again good in the early game against another CIS foe. Now this time a huge lead. It's been an explosive start, up to 6K gold lead, a 4K experience lead, and they go in mid on the Ogre. The Yule Scepter of Jay will start off. The low ground Death Ward from Chemo secures another kill. IAP just keep on delivering. And VP, if they're up against the Death Ball, which is starting to form now, Sin, they have very little D-push. They are almost going to be forced to fight.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like they can fight.
They have Plasma Field and Illusory Orb, and that's pretty much it. Ignite is kind of a stretch, especially when he's level 5. He doesn't have multicast yet.
It's a Bloodstone build from Death Prophet, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't see this very often.
No, usually you see the BKB, which I also think would be good in this game, but I think the Bloodstone is viable too when you have this kind of a lead at least. Oh, Sadoy's gonna try.
What a coil! Caught out 3 with the silence there to boot. Chemo gets nuked down by the Ogre, but still they turn and they fight with the ultimate of the Death Prop. They have a Yule Scepter. Jay needs to use it, he will. Brings down 1, might even finish out BZZ. Can they finish the job? One more right click. It's up to Sadoy. He does it. Barely, but it's a 2 for 4 already. And Iwi could well turn on this puck if it's not careful. Sadoy dodging out at the nuke. And they're not fighting with Weaver, by the way. Weaver's just split pushing bottom. Fox is having the easiest game ever, as it's up to Sadoy single-handedly to win the fight. Stampede, Iwi whiffs the stomp, though. It might cost them Emma Stone. Sadoy still in pursuit. Does he silence the time? He doesn't! He's late! Didn't know he would TP out there. Got vision like a 1/10 of a second before the TP completed. And another
really
big win
nice
for
play
IAP.
from IAP.
They even lost their Spectre again.
That was a
1-3.
4-on-5 fight, and they won it 4 for 2, I think, overall. With a Weaver split pushing the whole time and almost getting the tier 2 tower, massive victory for them.
This is getting out of hand. 10K gold lead, 7.5K experience lead. It is a Spectre, but you have to actually win a fight for the rubber band to kick in. And that did not bode well for their ability to do it.
No, that's a good point.
It's like
5-on-4, and they lost with a good
very
dream
bad.
coil. Yeah. I want to point out how much work the Witch Doctor is doing with Voodoo Restoration, and also that he's skill built specifically for that purpose. This is a very unusual build. You pretty much almost max the cask, and then either Maledict or heal afterwards. But he's maxed out the heal, and that means when the puck opens like that, as long as he doesn't get burst down, just the amount of raw healing coming in during the fight there just makes a huge difference. Mid lane as well as top lane. They're going on Yol mid too with the Death Ward. He's going to die as well by the looks of it.
He walked back into the Death Ward to get off a stun, back to top, where RR will fall still. A 2 for 1, and again a death for the Spectre. Not worth it at all for VP, and again, the Weaver is not fighting.
You know what team this is reminding me of?
Who?
I forgot what they're called. What is it?
Very good.
I remember the name of the players. Myth Trust.
Oh, with Lakells?
With Lakells. Lakells is the Weaver in this game, and the rest of the team is... It seems almost Myth Trust inspired. It's like almost... that exact way of playing that Myth Trust won a lot of games with.
I'd say it's a little more aggressive, but there are definitely like echoes of it, just in terms of having one here that's always off on their own, and
one off on their own. A lot of aggressive plays, not afraid to use stuns and ultimates to just find single kills and build it off that. Okay, that's a very dead Weaver.
Nice pick off for VP. 4 heroes in
double
position
sentry, 4 heroes,
1,000 gold swing.
Yeah, it's a really big kill. Really important, Spectre was involved. They need assists, or even better, of course, kills for BZZ to get back in this. Oh, looks like they're already thinking about it up top again here with Evu. If he gets any sort of backup here.
But they also know Haunts on cooldown. Can this be punished now by IAP? Do you just go for a tower of some kind? I'm wondering if they'll group up for it. For now, they do have a bottom lane to address. G, using his ultimate just to push this lane in and give it some momentum as quickly as possible. And lane wards plop down. They get aggressive with Iwi. He's been the source of pretty much all their mid-game execution, sitting at 1-1 and 9. Great Centaur performance so far. But not finding any more kills for the time being, and we do see a Dagon pickup from Sadoy. Just looking to find these solo kills around the map and create space for that Spectre.
That's a very bold play too, because what Pucks usually do in this situation is they get a Yules against the double sounds of IAP. But in this particular game, I think it makes a lot of sense for Sadoy to get some damage, because it feels like it's what their team needs right now. They're not bringing down the heroes fast enough. I think his goal is to burst the Witch Doctor. So they remove the Voodoo Restoration from the fight, and then Spectre's and Razor's damage suddenly starts being relevant.
They're laying a trap here, but the creeps are not going to cooperate for Sadoy. They hit Jay, they reveal the fact that they're sentries. He really doesn't care about that. He just clears the wave, and he's got his Bloodstone and the Yules. They're pushing in. Chemo, meanwhile, dewarding the hill. Is this an opportunity for VP to jump while the Iron's hot before the rest of the team backs him up? That's not going to happen. They lost their Spectre again top lane. Same old combo, Blink, Stomp, Double Edge. Do they even defend bottom? They get a nuke out on Fox, but no follow-up for that.
Very, very nice.
Too many deaths for BZZ.
The moment VP see them gathering up in the bottom with the Death Prophet like that, they think it's a push with 4 or 5 heroes. And at the same time, they have these 2 heroes up top who can combine their abilities to kill off the Spectre, who will obviously be in that lane waiting for the fight to break out and then potentially haunt in. So IAP just completely outmaneuvering VP here, just reading the map very well and using their abilities in the perfect combination play right there. 2 lanes at once.
Yeah, with a loss here, VP would drop to 0-2, and they would have a remaining match against Na'Vi. They could end the group stage 0-3. Whoever loses this game likely all but guaranteed to go to the losers bracket, as we mentioned earlier. They are going to smoke now, and they look for a jump on the Weaver, who is so damn close to that linkage. This is where Fox could very easily get greedy. He's literally 20 gold short, and he may pay for it. Silence Orb, zap down, solo kill by Sadoy. They sent the whole team. They needed nothing but the puck.
Oh, BZZ, not again. Is he making the same mistake for the 3rd time?
You gotta be. This is the 4th, I think. But he's backing off right now.
That was really close. If he went for another CS there, he would be in a lot of trouble. He's currently hanging around in his tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, Virtus.pro will be claiming the bottom tier 1, so their first tower of the game 20 minutes in.
It could be the beginning. Spectre is up to 1,800 gold. And 1 Radiance could change everything, but
1 Radiance.
1 item.
He is.
Like the Radiance.
Yeah, he's about, how far away is he? 3,500.
No mercy from Cinderin today, man.
That's quite a long time.
You're all over my English.
Well,
I'll get you back.
I'm sure you will.
Wait.
Yeah. Well,
Idiot.
Looks like come on, low blow. Looks like they're gathering up in the top lane here, aiming for the tier 2 tower. Exorcism up in 20 seconds. Oh, they might actually just go for the kill here.
There is a Dazzle World lurking behind him, though. Not sure about this jump in. He gets Grave, he gets healed, and suddenly Iwi decides, I don't want to go in, but it's the Witch Doctor who stands strong with a full duration ultimate. Doesn't actually kill anyone. Brings Sadoy low, drops G below half HP. That's the lone survivor, or the lone death so far, and everyone in VP surviving, I should say. Now, Iwi being turned on. Stun in from Yol. Now the Blake forward zap is there from Sadoy. Finds the 2nd kill. They finally use Exorcism as BZZ haunted in. Can he be punished for this? Doesn't look like it. He's actually being chased off. 5 heroes from VP just playing keep together Dota. And Jay will try and throw himself up in the air. The Ghost, not quite enough damage. He ends up getting 1 kill in the Ogre. Everyone else living. G on 5 HP. Yul's up. And just couldn't get the job done in the end. The Death Prophet will fall. Now that maybe they get a turn here. They silence out Sadoy. Finally, the Weaver joins the fight. Maybe Fox is too uninvolved. Feels like if he was in these fights, they'd go a lot differently.
Yeah, they would have. At least the last 2 4 and 5 fights they've taken. It doesn't even make much sense to do it without Fox at this point anyway, because the 2 bottom towers are gone, and he was like farming in this area. It was something else if he's like here and starting to knock on the front door of Virtus.pro, but there's nothing. He didn't really get any sort of trade-off, so might as well be involved in the fights and make a difference there. But even then, I guess it's still a fairly even fight. Skywrath Mage finishing off the puck there in the end, and he's getting really rich. Like, this is not your traditional Skywrath amount of farm at this point. 6K net worth.
He's got a Yules and the
Vitality
makings
booster.
of the Rod of Atos. That's just disgusting.
Or a heart.
Yeah. Maybe. Bloodstone?
Unlikely.
You never know. But IAP, despite their good lead, this is kind of what happened to them in the previous game, where they had a good lead, but then they just got sloppy in the mid-game. And I think that's just very risky up against a Spectre Razor. You got to stay disciplined. Let's see if they can batten down the hatches and play a little more together and choose their fights as a unit rather than kind of haphazardly. Because VP are starting, just by nature of being behind, to group up constantly, 5-man constantly, and be very selective about when they engage. And they're going to smoke again. But can they find anyone?
It's really important that this works. They desperately need all of their moves to succeed right now to buy BZZ enough time. He's currently on... He's suddenly almost got a relic if he wants it, but I'm still not sure if Radiance is the right choice here. But then on the other hand, what else would he get? I think they have to try to play for the super late game, even though it's not even necessarily favoring them that much, but just get BZZ rich enough via that Radiance to start becoming a factor in the game.
Good dodge here by Fox. He's playing a little more conservatively, and along with that, VPR too. They're leaving the Dazzle behind the Spectre. Both teams not wanting to give up free kills on their carries. And especially for the Spectre, it's an important time. Sadoy will get caught, though. Stomp is there. Great instant initiation set up by an Observer Ward in the Dire jungle. MVP Ward as they chase for more. They get the Yules off onto the Ogre, and now they dive him with a Mystic Flare. He stops for a stun, causes him to take a lot of additional damage, ends up going down. May have died anyway, but just made it easy with that.
He actually stopped for a Bloodlust.
Well,
it's pretty greedy in that situation.
I thought it was a stun, but yeah, he just Bloodlust instead.
Yeah, that tier 2 is gone. I
think they're Exorcism too.
Yeah, might as well go high ground. He even has a double damage run.
No.
It doesn't get better than this for
They're gonna have to bring everyone back now. This is a very aggressive push with the max heal.
They have no
through.
buybacks. They can't hold this. This tower is gone.
They forced that G in almost with the massive plays. 4-step stomp. G had like a quarter of a second to pull that off. That's just a free lane of Rex. It might still be a free lane, but at least they'll have their Razor to fight it. Just a range Rax down, and IAP retreat as a unit. The first Rax
well
of this game too,
here.
or the second game for Group B, I should say, going to the Filipino squad.
Yeah, nicely played. They get 2 kills. They get the Rax. They back out, reset, get their cooldowns back up with the Exorcism mainly, and just farm up again. Centaur is going to have a BKB by the looks of it for the next fight. So is DP. VP are running out of solutions. They don't have damage, right? Against this BKB, there's no one who's going to kill them.
I have the Storm without Ags. That's it.
Yeah, and Razor should
heal.
he steal loads of damage and then use a good weave. But it's so many ifs, and it takes such a long time anyway, that he can't commit to dealing that kind of damage when he's tanking up a level 3 Exorcism at the same time.
And Spectre's going to be useless against these BKBs as well. Radiance won't be helpful, Desolate,
Dispersion.
Dispersion.
Non-factor this game in general. That last pick really hasn't worked out for VP at all.
Yeah, 1 and 5. Some of these deaths you could argue are avoidable for BZZ, but the pick in general did put them in a very defensive posture, gave IAP a lot of confidence. Still can never count this kind of lineup out, but it does not look good for them to date. 26 minutes in, VP still have an aggressive Observer Ward down, so they get eyes on Fox, but now he's got a Lincoln Sphere. They can Blink, Silence, Coil him, but do they have the follow-up to finish him off? He's tankier now than he used to be. IAP will smoke. I think this might have been spotted. The rest of VP all moving down
Pretty
bottom.
sure this ward right here saw them smoking up, so the smoke itself will be unsuccessful. Question is if they get some map position for it so they can go for the tier 2, or if it's just essentially a waste here.
They were thinking about the jump on Fox, but he's just a bit too durable. They're waiting for someone to walk into this Observer Ward. That's the call. If someone shows their pretty little head, we'll jump him. BZZ, of all heroes, that's the one that can't be revealed. But they can't get a rage, and then the smoke
Jay's just going in. They've got 2 heroes in their own jungle, and he's pushing the base. What is this?
All right, solo plays from Jay. Why the hell not? He'll silence G. He still has Iwi backing up. I'm not sure if you want to...
They even see them with the ward. Virtus.pro could go into a 5-on-3 right now.
They're still not doing
really
it. They will now jump, but at the same time, Yol gets burst down. The Grave is there to keep him alive, but he's too low to really fight any further. Jay retreating out, has this Yol Scepter. Is he going to use it? BZZ quickly melting to the Ghost. Can they survive any longer? Now it's G who's getting focused down by them, nearly finished off. It's the Weaver who finishes the job. Fox securing the kill. Again, the death for the Spectre. 1 and 6, and IAP, eyes on the prize, will go for their first lane of Rax entirely. Melee slated to fall if they can keep this push going. There's no haunt. There is a coil. That's pretty much it. Interactive Philippines bouncing back in their second game here at Starladder Season 10. That's a lane of Rax downsend. Bottom lane, Tier 3 now exposed. They may go for Roche soon. They even get a mech on Chemo to buff up their 5-man a bit further, and they could smell it. They can taste it. They are damn close to taking this game.
Yeah, if they just go back, once again, wait for their cooldowns and then push another lane. That fight wasn't even a good initiation, to be honest, right? They were 3 against 5. They weren't all in a good position. They got jumped on. They used 2 BKBs immediately, which was a really good play from the center and the Death Prophet there. But just imagine that fight if it's a 5-on-5 from the beginning. Virtus.pro will just get completely run over. And they still won that fight. And I think the first 5 to 10 seconds of it were literally 3-on-5. So I think if they just group up, they can go to a lane and end the game.
Oh, they're smoked, but Fox is in the tree line. He's going to Sakuchi out. They drop a sentry. He's out of range. He's going to TP out. They try to get Vision here with the Dez ultimate. They don't find him. The puck blinked north. Sadoy did. It's too late. He's out, and Jay is pushing in. Top lane clears out the wave. They'll bring in the Centaur as well. Double edge to clear it out.
Damn, he's rich. He's got twice the net worth of the Razor on the Death Prophet right now.
You cannot be behind a Death Prophet. Certainly not to this extent and out carried as a Spectre.
No.
It's just not going to happen. You can't walk towards her. You just die to the ghosts.
There is no one who can fight Jay right now. There's no 2 heroes on VP that beat Jay 2-on-1.
I don't know if there's 3 heroes that beat him. That's kind of what happened the last fight. 3 heroes jumped him. He just BKB'd, and he killed them all. G will dodge the stomp there. Nicely played. This could be the fight they're looking for. Exorcism, though, is out, and VP got to run the hell away. Into the trees, the puck will go, and down the puck will fall. Yo next. Jay is dripping them a new one. Jada might be the 3rd. He tries to retreat out. Actually, that is the 3rd already, as they lost their Spectre too. 4 heroes fall. 1 buys back. Boost Yan IAP. They push in, looking for the 2nd lane of Rax, and it looks like they may claim it. Still, VP unable to get in close to this Death Prophet. It just seems like they don't have enough to fight, Sind, and they're out of time.
Yeah, even without the Exorcism, I still think Jay can almost fight God head on. That's
this is before the Desolator on Fox. Like, we've been talking a lot about Death Prophet. Soon Fox becomes a real problem for them as well. They'll take the tier 3 top. They don't yet break the base fully, but they've already gotten 1 lane of Rax. 2nd one not too far off. They try to chase on the side of VP. To boot, they also bought back on their puck. Very expensive overall and massive economic damage done.
And IAP backing out again at the perfect time. They got exactly what they could before it got risky, and they backed out. No casualties apart from the Centaur and the Witch Doctor during the fight. Essentially taking a tier 3 for free, resetting again, and yeah, it's just a matter of time before they go to the next lane. This time the fight broke out outside the base. If it breaks out inside the base, they will take a lane of barracks in addition to winning the fight. So I think Virtus.pro actually made the right call trying to fight out there, but they're just too far behind. They have to try it again, though. There's no alternative. Oh, God. Yeah.
Double damage Weaver with a Desolator. This Roche is not long for this world. Jay is 3,200 health, 10 armor. And the Dazzle, or the Witch Doctor heal, and Yo will get caught again. Iwi on point with these jumps. But what's really made it happen are these wards. They've had the Observer wards in the jungle we saw earlier, and now wards all near the Roche pit. IAP aren't just finding pickoff solo, they're doing it with vision and in a coordinated fashion, and now they get another. Jadam isolated by Iwi, solo kill for him, and they chase for that puck. Oh no, Bimbo a bit too excited will throw himself up in the air. But you can feel the adrenaline right now, even through the computer. He knows how close they are to taking the first ever win for a Southeast Asian team here at Starladder.
Yeah, they pretty much just need to reach the top lane barracks here, and they're going to use the Exorcism and claim that lane. Even now with an Aegis on Weaver, there is no way Virtus.pro pulls this off unless they land a completely perfect combo with all 5 heroes and get a good weave in addition to that. It's very difficult right now. We'll still try to... I don't know what they should build right now on the Spectre if he gets to his next item. I think it's full damage for BZZ and not any sort of tankiness, because that won't make a difference. They have to be able to kill the targets, and that's still the innate problem that their lineup has here. They've got good spread damage, but no heavy single target. And you're running that into a Weaver, Death Prophet, and a Centaur? I mean, good luck killing them off.
IAP have the catapult. They use the Dazzle ultimate to try and zone them out. But IAP, maybe they just wait a wave. They're not overly anxious. Sadoy is, though. He's smoked. Hoping for a solo pick. His smoke is broken. And he finds the 2 least killable heroes on the enemy team. So he's backing off immediately.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. At the same time, Fox, here we go. Jay, he's taunting them by faking his ultimate cast 4 times in a row, but here we go.
No taunting anymore, just pain for VP. Insta silence. BZZ walks in, he's haunt buybacking for this. Perhaps if he has it, yeah, he does. Well, the death is coming. Does the haunt buyback matter? That's the question. He pops it immediately. Stampede used by IAP to retreat out, but do they even need to run? The Witch Doctor ult is cleaning everyone out, and now they chase forward. Fox chunking into Jotum, forcing him back to the well. IAP, too much damage from Jay. He just won't stop. It's a triple kill for him. GG. Ubos, Jan, IAP, the first ever Southeast Asian team to win a game, I think in Europe, but certainly in the CIS here at Starladder. Great performance from them.
Yeah, absolutely. That was much better execution than in the previous game against Na'Vi. Still, I think IAP are good at playing that early game. I love the fact that they had the confidence to go for the aggressive tri lane here and challenge the Spectre and really exploit the fact that, in essence, Virtus.pro were running an extremely greedy lineup. That when you're running a Spectre safe lane, it's already a greedy carry, right, in a sense.
Yeah.
And then you're running it with an Ogre and Dazzle who are not good enough in lane with Spectre to fight a kind of lane like the one they had. They were playing against triple range, of which one is Weaver. That's just not going to work, and IAP saw the opening and they took it.
Well, it puts a lot of importance on the next few matches. We're going to have Na'Vi Secret, and well, IAP just have one match left to play. They have a date with Secret as well. That's going to be a tough opponent for them. Should they lose that, they'll drop to 1 and 2. Still a lot of scenarios here in the group, but they at least have a shot to be one of those top 2 teams coming out of Group B. An outside shot, perhaps, but a shot.
Yeah, and even should they finish third, that also makes a difference for who they meet in the first round of the lower bracket,
Correct.
which also has an impact. I believe there's a difference in prize money for every single placement, right?
I think 7th, 8th are tied.
Yeah, and then 6th is better than 8th. So if you win the first round of your losers bracket, you've already advanced, right? So
I believe that is correct.
But I think with this kind of play, they stand a chance at perhaps upsetting Secret. I still think it's a really tough task, but this kind of play, this kind of drafting, maybe a little more crisp, then it's definitely within their reach.
The one thing that I think makes it harder is Secret now is they've got some game film on them. They may not have studied them coming into the tournament, but now they've seen them play twice. So well, if anyone can figure them out, it's probably Puppy who will decode them. Guys, we'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll break down this match and we'll move forward. The Starladder Season 10 LAN Finals continue after this.
esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.